Welcome everyone to the District 45 online webinar, Why Take a Leadership Role in District 45. It is Sunday, March 4th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. Atlantic Time. Thank you very much for your time and being on this call with us. I'm very excited to be presenting this particular module. We do have a number of our district leaders who are going to be presenting, and the structure for this presentation is going to be very open dialogue, very Q&A type of discussion. I do have a few slides that I want to take you through as we're going through this presentation, but I really would like to open the floor and allow our panelists who are joining us to share with us their experience and open the floor to other people who would like to ask questions. So welcome. We do have a panel of current district leaders. Thank you very much for offering your time to do this with us today. What I'd like to offer you at the end of this discussion is an understanding of the District 45 leadership structure. Understand what the commitment is. There is feedback. If somebody has me on speaker, you're going to have to mute that. Thank you. Understand what it means to be a District 45 leader, and of course, what's in it for you? Why would you want to be a District 45 leader? And finally, the big question, how to get started. In true Toastmaster style, I'd like to welcome our panelists and ask you to give us your name, your designation, and the current role that you play in the district. So Jeff, we will start with you.
Well, thank you, Sharon. My name is Jeff Hebert. I am a distinguished Toastmaster, and my current role is the Program Quality Director for District 45.
Thank you, and we'll ask you more details about what that entails when we get past the introductions. Thank you very much. Our next presenter is Bob Bechtold. If you could please give us your name, your designation, and the current role you hold in the district.
Hi, my name is Bob Bechtold. The current role I have in the district is Club Coach Chair for District 45. I am DTM.
Thank you, Bob. And we have Olivette. Thank you so much for being on the call. If you want to share with us, please.
Hello, everyone. My name is Olivette Aviso. I'm a distinguished Toastmaster, and I'm currently the Division A Director. I'm also a past district governor.
That's great. Thank you very much. Do we have Melinda McCormick on the line? Okay. Jonathan Bohm was going to join us this evening. Unfortunately, he had a bit of an emergency he had to deal with, so he has unfortunately had to take care of a few things. So thank you very much for the leaders who are on this call and are part of the panel. So let's talk about the District 45 leadership structure. I believe I do have all of the leadership in this slide deck. If I don't, please let me know and we'll certainly add them. We start with the District Director, who is currently Melinda Rajanbal, Program Quality Director, Club Growth Director, Public Relations Manager, Administration Manager, Finance Manager, Club Extension Chair, Club Coach Chair, Online Training Chair. We have 7 Division Directors and 24 Area Directors. Obviously, we have a number of leadership roles that are available to individuals if they would like to take these roles on. District Director and Program Quality Director, Jeff, I'm going to give you a few minutes if you can share with us the top 3 roles, actually, the Club Growth Director as well, if you can share with us what those roles are.
Okay, thank you, Sharon. The District Director, Program Quality Director, and Club Growth Director are very much like the club officers, the President, the VP Education, and VP Membership. In that sense, that the district director is like the president for the entire district. So our district has over 110 clubs, with over 2,000 members across, 3 U.S. states and 3 Canadian provinces. So we have a fairly large geography that we manage. So the district director is in charge of making sure that everything happens, that the district functions correctly, and that we function and are fiscally responsible with our spending. Program quality director, that's my current role. As a program quality director, I'm responsible for the education portion of our district. That means making sure that clubs have all the training they need. So I'm involved with putting forth all the club officer training. I am also in charge of making sure contests happen and that we have people trained to do the contests. And I'm also responsible for the conferences that now happen in the spring. Our club growth director is responsible for helping build new clubs. So his job or her job is to go out and help us find new clubs, find new members. So there's a lot of marketing type involvement there. And there's also the I think I've lost track of myself. I guess that covers it. The club growth helps grow the club. Program quality helps with member satisfaction, and the district director keeps us all on track to achieve the district mission.
Wonderful. Our current club growth director is Shane Walsh. Our public relations manager, that's self-explanatory, that's Jonathan Bohm. Our administration manager makes sure that the top 4 are all kept in line. Goodness gracious, she's got a very difficult job making sure that all of these individuals are doing what they need to be doing. And the individual who's currently doing that is Janice Perkins. Our finance manager makes sure that the books are all in order, and that's Alan Idler, who's playing that role. Club Extension Chair, currently we've got Heather Perkins and Candace Buell, and our club coach chair, as Bob said earlier, is Bob Bechtold. So Bob—
Yeah, I need to correct. Oops.
Sure, go ahead.
Our club extension chair is now Tom Goodwin.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for that. Okay, awesome. So what I'd like Bob to explain to us what it is that the club extension chair, if you can, and the club coach chair, what those roles are all about. What is it that falls under your umbrella of responsibility?
Well, actually, I can help you with the club coach chair, and I work under Shane Walsh. And basically, I am the first contact. I'm the go-to person should a club coach have any kind of question or concerns with their individual club, but also in maybe an activity or how they would coach a club through certain situations. It's actually not a difficult job. We have very good club coaches. They seem to work through their issues on their own, but every once in a while I'll get a question where they need some support, or they need an answer to a question, or they might even have to go higher up in the chain of command to Shane to discuss an issue that might be occurring in the club and how to correct it. But generally, I'm the front person for Shane. I usually do the article in a newsletter, which comes out of the club coach training manual. Then I also send out an email to the club coaches every couple months, looking to see if they have any questions or concerns, because sometimes they forget they have support up the chain of command, and you want to make sure that they have the support and they have the information they need to do a good job or achieve their goals. Communication is a big part of it, and I do get feedback, or I do get responses from the club coaches, and try to work through or make some suggestions or give them some resources they may not even be aware that they have. Generally, that's what I do.
That's wonderful. Thank you very much for that. Jeff, would you mind telling us what the club extension chair role is all about?
Certainly. The club extension chair currently is Tom Goodwin, and he also works with the club growth director in order to find and develop new clubs.
Hmm.
So if anyone has an idea on where we might build a new club, Tom does organizing for the folks out in the field that actually build up that club. His role is a supporting role, a lot like what Bob just described. And mostly what he does is make sure that folks out on the, trying to build up these clubs, make sure they don't feel alone, that they know that there is support from the rest of the district.
Wonderful. I snuck the next one in, the online training chair. This is brand new, and this is currently my role. What I get to do is play with having webinars. It's a fun role. I get to reach out to the leaders in the district and find out where they believe gaps exist in the information that our members could use, and put webinars together, reach out and find people who want to do presentations and offer up their experience. This role is newly established, as I said earlier, and having a lot of fun identifying gaps and filling those gaps. We also have 7 division directors and 24 area directors, and I'd like to ask Olivette Aviso to give us a description of what it is to be a division director and an area director.
Just a second, I've got a call. I've got mute.
I muted Olivette while she's dealing with her call.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
Okay. The division director's responsibilities, i.e. mine, and the other 6 division directors, are to support the area directors in their roles, assist them in their club extension activities, to encourage them to find leadership footholds for themselves going forward, to encourage their clubs in the area directors assigned areas to fulfill the Distinguished Club Program Moments of Truth, creating a quality club atmosphere. And what I do with my division is have division conference calls every month where we go over the issues that might be facing them, and I get that information from their club visit reports, as well as information that filters down from the top and Toastmasters International, and perhaps other things that come to my attention from emails or from other meetings with my peers. I see my role as strengthening and being a backup for my area directors, helping them in whatever way is reasonable and necessary for them. I will attend their club contests. I will go with them if they need to meet with the administrators for their corporate clubs. I have attended some charter ceremonies to show a district presence and to once again give the new club the idea of the fact that it's not just the area director, but there is an entire group that stands behind the area director, and a group into which they now are stepping as Toastmasters members. The entire experience is very rewarding because I can see positive change. I don't tell people what to do. I want them to learn. I want to give them the structure in which to learn and encourage them to go forward in achieving their goals. That's it.
That's great, Olivet. Thank you. Thank you very much. And the role of an area director is to support the different clubs within their areas, ensure that they're getting what they need in order to create a quality club, continue to monitor club growth, membership, continue to also promote the DCP program. And while the DCP program is not centered, the club should not be centered on the DCP program. Obviously, you want to center on the membership, what their goals and dreams and aspirations are through this program, and support them through that, with the understanding that it does fall under the DCP program. And if a club does in fact follow the moments of truth and adhere to that and use the support from the area director and the division director, they will easily achieve DCP standings. That's your leadership structure. Thank you, everyone, for sharing. Does anyone have any questions about the leadership structure at this time? Do we have anything in the chat?
Nope, no chat messages.
Okay. All right. Now we're going to get to Q&A. And I want to open up the floor. I want to start asking some questions of the different individuals. So I'm going to come back to the previous slide that we had before, because I have some questions personally. I have some questions about the leadership structure. So correct me if I'm wrong. District director, program quality director, club growth director, and public relations manager, they are all voted in. Is that correct?
That is correct. Also, our division directors are voted in.
And what is the tenure for the top 4 roles?
That's a loaded question. It's a trick question because the official tenure for each role is 1 year.
Okay.
But in our district and in most districts, folks who are, it's sort of a progression. You start out as a public relations manager, and then the next year go to club growth, and the next year go to program quality director. And what that does is that gives you sort of an on-the-job training for each aspect of the district and each aspect of the organization before you take on the next level of responsibility.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes total sense to do that.
So the loaded question is, it's typically a 3 to 4 year commitment when you start working through this path.
Okay. However, at any point, if you decide that you do not want to continue, you can step out and allow somebody else to take the role. Is that a fair statement?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Sorry.
I was looking at that question.
If I was, for example, public relations manager and found that career path or something happened that I could not continue on to club growth director, I could just decide or let the district know that I cannot continue forward.
Yeah, so occasionally things like that happen. Actually, a few years ago, I think we had lost our club growth director and had to have someone appointed. That sort of thing happens, like you said, life experiences.
Right.
And we do our best to support the district as well as deal with individual issues. Olivet, do you have any experience with that? Have you had to shuffle around leaders?
Personally, once I started the chairs, I didn't have any problems, but prior to that, there was another Toastmaster who had, for reasons of a job change, to actually move his entire home to another state. So someone had to step in and take his place in the lineup.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'm going to mute Olivet again.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of feedback, so I'm going to mute everyone.
Muted. unmuted.
And unmute Sharon and Sue, because I think, Sue, you had mentioned something, a role that I've overlooked. Are you there, Sue?
Yes, I am.
You're the one with the feedback.
Oh, well, I can't get on the computer.
Okay, well, I'm going to mute. Sorry, Sue. Sue had mentioned the immediate past district director. That's a role that we should include on here.
Yes,
The
yes.
district
Thank
director,
you.
once
Yes.
elected, really has a 2-year role. So the first year is running the district, and the second year is as a support for the district leaders.
I will definitely add that. Thank you very much. That's very important.
Yep. So to be honest
Thank
with
you,
you,
Sue.
our immediate past district director has quite a bit of work to do. Mostly it's, I don't know what it is. To be honest, he seems to be involved with just about everything.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because he knows where the bodies are buried.
Yeah.
Did I actually say that out loud?
Wait, shh, don't give away the bad secrets. Teresa actually has a question in the chat. Thank you very much. The club extension chair, the club coach chair, and the online training chair, do these all count towards a credit for the district officer role?
Not the DTM credit. They definitely do count for experience, and that gets put on your Toastmasters credentials. You can actually see that online. So when you log into your account and look under other roles, it'll list those roles as things that you've done. But it does not count as part of the DTM credit for, is it Advanced Leader Silver, I think?
Yeah, it's the Advanced Leader Silver. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. A great question. Does that answer your question, Teresa? Yes, thank you very much for that. Bob, a question for you. What made you decide to become the club coach chair, and how did you fall into that role?
Short answer, I was asked. And in line with the Toastmasters promise, I stepped up.
Good for you. And with that, what is the tenure for that role? Is it a 1-year role, a 2-year role?
My understanding, it is a 1-year role.
Okay.
Have had comments and have worked well together in the past, and I agreed that I would help him, and I was asked, and I think that I have enough knowledge as a former division governor, now it's director, and have been to enough conferences and rubbed elbows with enough district directors that I can help them, and I wanted to do so.
That's terrific. Thank you very much for that. As the online training chair, I can tell you that I had looked at doing online webinars. I do it for my job on a regular basis, on a daily basis, actually. And I was looking to fill gaps in my division. I'm the Division E director for this year. And when I mentioned the idea to Jeff, Jeff automatically upscaled it to district level and asked me if I would take it on. I was honored to be asked to do that for the entire district, and it will be, this particular time will be actually a 2-year tenure as we establish the program, make sure that all of the pieces are in place, and make sure that we have a nice rhythm going forward, and then we will look to hand off for I guess 2019, 2020, or 2020. And I guess at that point we'll make a decision if it's going to continue to be a 2-year tenure or if it's a 1-year tenure. And division directors and area directors are generally 1 year. Division directors, as Jeff mentioned earlier, are voted. Area directors are actually appointed by the district director. Well, thank you, Sue. I appreciate the comment, the feedback. It is a lot of fun. Really appreciate that. Teresa has a question. Can you explain what it means for a member to run from the floor at spring conference? What will the members be required to do? Where do I find more information on the process? Great question. At this time, Olivette Avizo, and if I speak out of turn, please someone correct me. Olivette Avizo is reaching out to our current leadership, looking for individuals who have stepped forward to fulfill and could potentially fulfill the division director and area director roles. Now, a member run from the floor means if you decide at spring conference or shortly before spring conference that you'd like to run for an elected position, such as division director or public relations manager, you can actually submit your name at the business meeting at conference. Jeff, is that correct?
Yes, that's generally correct. Maybe we could have Olivette describe the process briefly, since she's the one running it.
Yes.
Okay, briefly, if someone decides after the list of nominees has been published, they can choose to run from the floor. I believe it's the district director will ask for any other nominees other than the listed nominees that the nomination committee has put together. And if anyone chooses to stand for that particular office, they just need to literally stand, identify themselves, and possibly be prepared to do a brief campaign speech, usually about 2 minutes, table topics basically, to say why they should be a candidate for a particular office. There are papers, forms that need to be signed that Toastmasters International provides, and those will have to be completed if the person who chooses to run from the floor wins the election.
Olivette, when is the cutoff for someone to put their name forward before we cut it off and they have to come up, they have to submit their name from the floor? Yeah.
March 1st.
Oh, okay. So now, according to my calendar, that was passé. So
you got it.
All right. At this point, anyone else who would like to put their name forward must run from the floor.
For if they are stepping up for an elected position, I believe Jeff would be more than happy to entertain area director names for anyone who decides between now and April, let's see, I'll give you the date in April. The report from the nominations committee is due to the district on April the 12th. So until April the 12th, the nominating committee would be more than happy to have names of people who would like to step up to the area director position.
And when somebody submits their name toward the area director, what kind of information should they submit along with their application?
There is a nominating form and there is an officer agreement and release form, both of which need to be completed either, well, the officer release form has to be signed by the person who is stepping up for that office. The nominating form can be submitted by that person or by someone who is recommended that they run or be appointed for a particular position.
Okay.
Those are found online.
One question I'm often asked If I put my name forward for any one of these roles, can I still compete this year?
No. No.
So
The TI procedure says no.
okay, as soon as I throw my hat in the ring, I am cut off from competition.
That's correct. Not only are you cut off from competition, but you also can't be a presenter at conference. It gives you an unfair advantage over your potential competitors for that office.
Okay. Good to know. Thank you very much. Are there any other questions from people at this time? So
Yeah, you have a
Oh, excuse me,
you have a
Sharon.
question about.
yeah, go
Oh,
ahead.
my apologies. My apologies. If anyone is interested in information, they can certainly do their own research on the Toastmasters website. Look under nominating committee or look under the officer responsibilities to know whether or not they're eligible for the particular office they choose.
Good to know. Thank you. I'll include that in the slide deck.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. We have a question from Teresa Smith, yet another fabulous question. The business meeting, is that the one where everyone participates versus the district officer meeting? Jeff, I'm going to hand this one over to you.
Yes, that's exactly right. At the district conferences, we typically have, actually we have a series of meetings where officers get together to discuss various issues. And the district council meeting is the formal meeting that happens typically on Saturday afternoon. That's where elections occur and business decisions are made for the district.
Perfect. Thank you, Jeff. Great question. Sue Francesco puts forward a great point. Area director names can still be submitted along with the TI release documents. However, this group is not interviewed. It's actually Jeff's job to appoint the individuals to the area role.
Yeah, you're making an assumption that I get elected to district director. But
okay,
small technicality.
My apologies. Whoever gets elected to district director for this coming year will have the honor of appointing our area directors. Thank you very much for that correction, Jeff. I apologize if I assumed. We all know what happens when you assume, right? Bob actually asked a great question. As club coach chair, is he able to compete? Olivet is. Would Bob and myself, as online training chair, would we be allowed to compete?
In actual fact, insofar as your job, Sharon, your role rather, I don't think that Toastmasters International specifically identifies that role. I don't think that that is a general role that you would find if you went from one district to another. I might be very wrong. Consider this, and Jeff, correct me if I'm not right, which quite possibly happens. If you are going to be able to have an unfair advantage over any of your competitors, then ethically, that puts you at an advantage. So is that going to be something that you should do, compete and then be the club extension chair, or compete and then be the online training chair, exposed to a lot of different members throughout the district? I don't know, Jeff.
Yeah, well, I can tell you there's absolutely an integrity issue there. I'm going to mute you again, Olivet. I think we're still getting feedback. To answer Bob's question, and actually all of this, let me take you through, we recently faced this with the Pathways Ambassadors and Pathways Guides. These members are very public. They're much like area directors. Area directors are not allowed to compete, and neither are division directors. So sorry, Sharon, even though you're an online chair, you might be able to compete as a division director, you can't. But the Pathways Guides and Pathways Ambassadors are very, very much like area directors in that they are very active with several clubs. That said, they are allowed to compete. There's a list of roles in the club contest book, and I don't have that in front of me, but there's a specific list of roles that are prohibited from competing, and those are the elected roles: district director, program quality director, club growth director, and division and area directors. I believe that in some districts, the public relations manager, where it's an appointed role, they're actually allowed to compete. In our district, we elect the public relations manager, so they cannot be elected. Oh, and it looks to me like Sue Francesco just found that list. So there's a long list. So it turns out the finance manager, public relations are prohibited, and the administration manager. So even if they're appointed, even though some of those roles are appointed, they're not allowed to compete. So check your chat box if you guys want to see the official ruling.
That's terrific. Thank you, Sue. Right on top of it. I love it. Love that. Great question. And I think, Olivette, you're bringing up a great point about ethically, is it something you should be doing? I guess we all need to make that decision at some point as to whether or not we want to go ahead and do that. Yeah, great point. Another question from Teresa Smith. Can a member campaign to be a division or area director of any division or area, or do they need to be a member of that specific division and area? So if I decide that I want to be division director for a division I'm not a member of, is that possible?
In all honesty, I have read through the material that I got from the TI website, and I don't see that prohibition. I may be wrong, Jeff. I don't know if in your experience and training, you know something different, but I have not specifically seen that. And in actual fact, especially with the area directors, it may be that an area director covers more than one area or agrees to stretch and cover an area that does not have an appointed area director. It's happened in the past. So I don't think that there is a prohibition against it. And historically, throughout Toastmasters International, there are people, I'm thinking specifically of the regional advisors. The regional advisors are, I believe, appointed by the International Leadership Committee, and they can be the regional advisor for any region. And so based on that alone and my personal history with Toastmasters, I don't think it is absolutely necessary that someone be a member of a club within an area or division in which they serve as either the area director or the division director.
Okay. Thank you very much for that, Olivette. Christine Fernie asked a question: what information should be put into the biography? We have a lovely response from Jeanne-Mance Cormier. Thank you very much. A biography content should be your club executive position, if you help with a TLI program, if you have experience with public presentation inside Toastmasters or outside your club and division, and always make a bio to fit the position you are interested in. Thank you very much for that wonderful response. Really appreciate that. Yeah, Bob, you make a great point. This goes back to Olivette's point earlier about, based from your question, as club coach chair, are you allowed to compete? And Bob followed up with a point. He would think that he would not be able to compete. He publishes a monthly newsletter article with a photo. So again, that comes back to the ethical question about the role that you're holding. Even though you can compete, should you compete? And that is something for individuals to make a decision on. Crystal has a question. When does the role that you are taking officially start if you are successful in obtaining a position? And that answer is July 1 to June 30th. Canada's birthday. We love that. Yes, and there is some discussion about having crossover members be division and area directors for different divisions and areas. And Jeff cites Sandra Hache from New Brunswick, who is Division B director for Maine. So yes, and again, that's Toastmasters stepping up and moving above and beyond the call of duty, which is fabulous. Any other questions from anybody at this point? Because I do have another burning question that I have. And the burning question is, how much time do each of the panelists on this call spend in their roles in the leadership structure? Because that is a big factor for a number of individuals. So Jeff, Program Quality Director, how much time do you spend?
Yeah, you probably don't want to know. I spend a lot of time. Probably 10 to 20 hours a week. Maybe not 20 hours, probably 10 hours a week. There are times, right, when we're getting ready for conferences or major events that I spend more time than that, but typically about 10 hours a week, I think, is a good estimate.
And Bob, as club coach chair, how much time do you typically spend in your role?
I try to keep it to 1 to 2 hours a month. It depends on if I send an email and how much response I get. A really positive response from all the club coaches, you can add another hour reading through the emails and then developing a response or sending it up to Shane for additional suggestions. But the article, the newsletter article is very short. It's not to be a big full page or multi-paragraph by any means. So I keep that to a minimum. I make them up in advance. So I try to keep it to 1 to 2 hours a month. I spend more time on my VP of education at the club and executive committee duties than I do with that.
Very good, thank you. And Olivette, same question to you. As division director, how much time do you spend in your role?
I would estimate that I spend at least as much as Jeff indicated, 10 to 20 hours. It depends upon what's going on. For TLI preparation, for contest preparation, there's a little bit more perhaps.
Okay, very good.
This is Bob again.
Yes.
Of course, my time would increase if I end up with a club coach or a club that needs to have a conference call or something to that order, or get more than one. Then for each one, you could easily add an hour or two to that. So it could get more than 1 to 2 hours. But when everybody's quiet and moving forward, there's not much.
That's awesome. Sounds like the dream job. I think we should, Jeff, restructure his pay.
Yeah, you know what? About that.
Exactly. And for the online training chair, I find that I spend a couple of hours a week. And again, the role that I play with the online training chair is a role that I decide how much work I'm going to put into it. But certainly I like to be prepared months in advance so that people know what is coming, follow up with them, make sure that we get publicity out there, make sure that people are aware that this is coming. So I do spend a few hours every week on that particular role. As a division director like Olivette, I do tend to spend a lot more time on that role because I do want to complete due diligence and let everybody know that I am here to help them and support them as they transition through their program, their goals and dreams, and move forward into, especially as we have pathways coming. I'm very excited about that. And I see Sue Francesco, her comment, she felt like it was a second full-time job. For her, 20 hours weekly would have been mild. Yes, there is indeed a lot of potential in this organization in terms of what you can do with the different roles. Certainly you have what you need to get done as identified by TI, but I find as division director, I have the bandwidth or the flexibility to do other programs within my division director role, and I really appreciate being able to do that. For example, we have a French contest that we hold as well because we are in New Brunswick and PEI. We do hold an English and a French contest, so we've expanded that. Again, it's what best serves the members of my division is what I look into it. And Olivette's comment is so apropos, like the old adage, you get out of it what you put into it. And Jeff, I suppose I'm fooling myself thinking that it's only about 10 hours a week. I said, yep, I kind of think so. I think.
Yeah, my wife says it's a lot more than that, so.
Yeah.
He probably knows.
And yeah, go ahead.
We didn't really ask, before we get to Teresa's next question,
Sure.
Maybe we can have her chime in on how much time an area director spends.
Yes.
We have a couple of area directors on the call, Teresa and Donna Jean.
Oh, excellent, excellent. So Teresa or Donna Jean, if either one of you want to comment on that.
Teresa says it seems like a second job.
Well, you know, people ask me, what's the difference between a division, is division director more work than an area director? Nuh-uh, not as far as I'm concerned. We support the area directors, but boy, oh boy, the area directors are feet on the ground for our clubs. And they do a lot of work. So absolutely, a great point. Teresa's question, can a member run for more than one district officer role? Great question.
Okay, I guess I can take that one. Maybe I shouldn't, because I'm not sure the specifics of the rules. I know that when we do elections, we elect from the highest office to the lower offices, because if someone runs for, say, district director and does not get elected, they could also run from the floor for one of the other offices, like program quality, club growth, public relations. That does happen on occasion. That actually happened to me. I ran for public relations manager 3 years ago and was defeated. So I ran from the floor as a division director.
Oh, good for you.
Yep.
Interesting.
Fun fact.
Oh, interesting. That's really cool.
Yep.
Now, Christine Fernie is providing information about area directors. Thank you. She is saying a minimum of 2 days per month for club visits, area, division, and district contests, all the leader calls, and the travel time. So that does tend to add up. Teresa is saying probably 10 to 20 hours per week for her. let's see. Yeah, no, Donna, Jean, gotcha. In the age of computers, that is definitely something that we run into. But Donna Jean is spending about 10 plus hours per week as well in her role as area director. So you definitely, it's definitely a role that that requires time. So as we start heading up to the top of the hour, I would like to give our panelists an opportunity to share with us perhaps something they would like us to know that I've not asked them about regarding their role or what it means to take a leadership role in the district. I will actually start with Olivette, and then I'll move through Olivette, Bob, and we'll wrap it up with Jeff. So Olivette, is there anything that you want to tell members of District 45 with regards to taking on a leadership role, why they should do it, and...
Because it's a wonderful high. And I spell that H-I-G-H. It's wonderful to get out and meet people and to shake hands and take part in the district activities and to go beyond the district and meet other people from other districts. It's an opportunity to travel around the district, places that you would not necessarily go. We have a wonderful and not quite unique, but in the unique column, district in which we are partially Canadian, partially US. And maybe you wouldn't normally travel to Canada, but in a district leadership role, it's almost mandatory that you go to the district conferences. And what a lift to your education. It broadens your horizons, and you meet the people you only read the names of in district newsletters. You realize that they're flesh and blood just as you are. And as I say, it's a great high to be a part of the district, a bigger thing outside of yourself that's doing something good for other people. And of course, if that's not your goal, you do have to set your goals, by the way. Mm-hmm. But if that's not your goal, then maybe you need to rethink what it is that you're trying to do, stepping up to a leadership role. But it's a wonderful opportunity.
Well said, Olivette. Thank you very much. Bob, I pass the microphone over to you.
I was waiting for this question. Becoming part of the district team when I was division governor, as well as the club coach chair, is unlimited opportunities for you to grow as an individual. You met Olivette, Sue, Jeff, the number of people that you become close with, you're able to work with. You constantly are stepping out of your comfort zone, but at the same time, you are continually learning. And that's why we joined Toastmasters, was to improve our communication leadership skills, to continually learn and challenge ourselves. And this is, I was once told that if you really want to become a great public speaker, that you should compete as often as frequently as you possibly can. It's the same thing with taking on a district role. If you want to improve your leadership skills faster than you could even imagine, this is what you need to do. I would challenge anybody out there listening. There should be 10 people running for every district chair or role or manager or director every time we have elections. Mm-hmm. They should be at the bit to get in there, because there is so much opportunity and everything. I did copy everything Olivette said.
That's great, Bob. Thank you very much for sharing that. Yeah, I agree with you entirely as well. And Jeff?
Oh, yeah, I was afraid you were going to ask me this question. Because, no, you know what? I meet so many people. I meet so many challenges. I've actually met world champions. I'm more world champions at public speaking than I can remember. And I've met more people who are really world champions of leadership. There are folks that are doing amazing things all across the world every single day. And I frequently get to communicate with them to figure out how they're solving problems and to give them ideas on how to solve their problems. It's a great, I don't know, it's just a great experience. I think Olivet described it well as a wonderful high. And so did Bob, having this unlimited opportunity to grow. Every day I experience things that I never would have experienced, new challenges that I never would have experienced, or I don't experience with my daily work. But having these experiences broadens my horizon and gives me a better understanding of the world and how to solve problems. It's what I love.
That's wonderful. Thank you very much. One last note of wisdom from Sue Francesco. She recommends that each incoming area director and division director do an HPL for their year of service. Yes, never do anything for free within Toastmasters.
Wait, I should have like 5 HPLs now. Did I miss something?
I think so. I would also like to let you know that I put a survey link in the conference chat if you'd like to complete that. So I want to spend the last few minutes. First of all, thank you so much to Jeff and Bob and Olivet for your presentation. Thank you very much to Sue and Teresa and all of the individuals and who asked questions and who provided information. It was very valuable for me personally as I learned more about the leadership structure than I could ever think possible. I thought I knew it all. Obviously, I didn't. So thank you very much for that. I would like to promote our next webinar, which will be on March 25th. And the topic will be International Contest and Table Topics Judge, how to use the ballot. I am seeking individuals who'd like to be on another panel to present this particular webinar as we start heading into our contest season. It's important for people to really start to understand how that ballot is used and how to use it wisely as you are judging the individuals who are presenting their heart and soul to you on the stage. If you could let people know that this is coming, I'd really appreciate it. Also, I am going to put into the conference chat our new District 45 YouTube channel. We have there all of the presentations that we have been doing over since the beginning of the year on this particular channel, and we will continue to promote it. The presentation that we're doing now will be downloaded and uploaded to the Toastmasters District 45 online YouTube channel. So let's go ahead and start promoting that, if you will, and we'll be able to grow the number of attendees that we have. I see here that our GoTo meeting has a max of 101. I'd like to blow past 101 and have just about everybody.
It'll be standing room only.
I certainly hope so. You're going to have to pay to get in. Pay to get in. That would be awesome. So thank you very much. Does anybody, before I close it off, yes, Bob, I will definitely stay online with you. So if everybody could, does anybody have any questions? I apologize, I lost my mind there for a moment. Does anybody have any questions or comments before we end up wrapping this up?
Thank you, Sharon.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Have yourselves a great day. And Bob, I am going to hold the line until everybody drops off, and then you and I can chat.
Yeah, you can stop the recording too. Remember to do that.
Yeah, the recording is paused. Oh, hold
Okay.
on.